Let's go!
We made it to Canada! We're in Banff right now, and man, was it touch and go there for a bit.
That was a bit sketchy.
We're here in Fargo at stop number 3 to try and figure out what's going on with Ace. And it is sounding like this could take days, possibly even weeks to fix. We got everything settled with the van, we have crossed the border, and we are in Banff National Park.
Epic.
Our intro to this place has already been amazing. First impressions?
This is epic.
We got here yesterday afternoon and it was just scenic view, wildlife after wildlife. I mean, we had a deer greet us in our campsite.
Yeah.
And that's our electrical box. We woke up this morning, Steven was making coffee, and I mean, here's what happened. That is an elk just chilling outside the van. There's another one right here in front. Oh my God. Okay, Banff is beating Yellowstone for the best wildlife experiences. Beautiful. So now it's the morning of our first day here. And by morning, I mean about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We got off to a little bit of a late start, but we had 2 really long driving days and we needed some sleep. It's nice and warm-ish. I mean, we're in our warm clothes, of course.
Beautiful.
But it is gorgeous. It's the last week of May. It's cool. We got snow on the Rockies behind us, and we are gonna go see if we can find some bears. We are just walking through the town of Banff right now. This place is so cute. I mean, it's definitely touristy, but as far as tourist type places go, this one is so beautiful. It is clean, it's quaint, it's got all kinds of great stores. If there's anything you forgot, you can get it here. If you want to get your snowboarding gear, right now it's the end of May and they've got a bunch of stuff on sale in one of the shops here, so, you know, plan accordingly. We are walking towards the museum, the Banff Museum, so we can get the foundational information we need for the rest of our stay here in Banff. Okay, we're not gonna go to the museum until tomorrow. We actually forgot our parks pass in the van. So it's hanging up on our mirror like they told us to do, but that gets you into the museum, it gets you into the cave and basin, which we wanna go to as well. So we are gonna go on a hike today, and tomorrow morning we will check out that museum and cave and basin and get all of our information and share it with you, of course. We're at Lake Minnewanka, which if you saw our Minnesota video, you know that Minnie means water. I don't know what Wonka means, except for maybe chocolate.
Exactly.
But we'll find out. We'll put it on the screen below when we do the edit. Okay, we found what it means. It is the Lake of the Spirits, which, of course, then the early Europeans called it Devil's Lake, because why not? This is a gorgeous lake. It's huge. They do boat tours out here. You can rent boats if you don't want to take a tour. You can go out on your own. And these views of the snow-capped mountains are just incredible.
We're on the Stewart Canyon Trail, which is about 1.5 kilometers each way in and back from the drop-off point. It skirts the west side of Minnewanka Lake, and there's hardly any elevation gain, so it's a really easy hike with incredible views. Wow, crystal clear.
What do you guys think? Dog or some other kind of wild animal coming up to the water here? Banff National Park, day 2! Woo! We are back in downtown Banff, and we're gonna try once again to visit the Banff Museum and Cave and Basin.
But we forgot our passes back at the campsite again.
We never learned. So it turns out these sites are national sites, and they require an entry fee to get in.
Unless you have one of these annual passes, which we do. but it's back at the campsite.
And unfortunately, since we didn't buy them online, we don't have an email that shows that we purchased this. So we actually have to wait for yet another shuttle to go back to the campsite and get the physical pass. We are actually spending a lot of time waiting for shuttles here. They are fantastic in that you can go anywhere throughout this park with these shuttles. They're free if you're coming from the camp at first, and or very inexpensive, only $2 a ride after that. So they're so convenient. However, they're also very few and far between. Yesterday when we were done at the lake, we went to the shuttle site and ended up waiting an hour and a half before the next shuttle came by. So they have a schedule that they keep, but it's not like a regular every 20 minutes type of situation. So definitely plan ahead, check the schedules, make sure you know which one you want to catch so you don't just miss one and end up waiting a long time for another, because we are wasting kind of a lot of time waiting for shuttles. After figuring out our schedule today, the places we want to go, the shuttle connections we would need to make, and how frequently they run or don't run, we decided we're gonna have to break down and just take the van with us today. So Ace is going to check out Banff.
Considering how much time we lost this morning, we decided to go ahead and skip the museum and head straight for Cave and Basin, which, by everything we could see, seems to be the more interesting of the National Historic Sites anyway.
Whew, you can smell the sulfur here. It's like somebody is boiling eggs. This hot spring was discovered by 3 railway workers when they were building the Canada Railway in the 1800s. But I put discovered in quotes because indigenous people to this area had been using it for millennia already. However, it wasn't until it was discovered by those railway workers that the rest of the world started to pay attention to this unique and interesting site. And through that, it started the whole movement of protecting lands and starting national parks here in Canada. So this is where it all started. How's that smell?
It smells like eggs. That is the vent hole to the hot springs.
We just saw it from underneath.
The Johnston Canyon hike has been at the top of our list because we saw somewhere that not only is it one of the easier hikes, but also one of the most scenic. And I think we're going to see some waterfalls too.
So down here at the lower falls, you actually can go through a tunnel that takes you right out in front of the waterfall. It's really cool, but expect to wait in a line, and it could be a long one. But I think it's worth it.
Now from here, it's just 1 more mile to the upper falls.
This path is just one waterfall after another. I cannot wait to get to the top and see what the view is like. Not gonna lie, this leg from the lower falls to the upper falls gets a little bit steeper and it's kind of kicking our butts.
Yeah.
Steven stripped down even.
almost there.
And it's raining on us! The final stretch! Naturally, just as we're getting here, it starts raining. Hopefully it's not gonna really pour on us, at least not until we're much closer to the van. But for now, we got a mile and a half to go to hopefully not get soaked. All right, we made it back to the van. Just a little bit wet.
Yeah.
It really started pouring a little bit harder just in like that last not even quarter mile, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, we are back. It's already, I think, past dinner time. It's probably about 6. It's hard to tell because it is so light here, so late. But we're heading back to the camp, getting settled in, making ourselves some dinner, and then getting ready for tomorrow, which is, I don't know, for me personally, my top bucket list item of the Canadian Rockies. I don't know.
I'm pretty excited about it too.
I hope it's as epic as we're expecting it to be. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, we check out of our camp in Banff and we head to Jasper. But it's the in-between that's going to be good. It is a brisk morning, can you tell? We've driven about an hour from our camp near downtown Banff. We actually checked out of the camp because we're going to continue on from here. Right now, we are on the hiking trail from the Lake Louise Visitor Center, and we're headed all the way to Lake Louise. It's about 3 kilometers each way. And I don't know if you can see it, but we got snow flurries. How cool is that? Oh boy, I see a bunch of stairs. You ready?
Here we go.
Holy crap, it gets worse. Whose idea was hiking?
To real hikers, this is a welcome treat.
I need to catch my breath. We have 1 kilometer to go. This hike is kicking our butts. My nose is running. So prior to getting to Banff, I don't think we've been on a hike in what, 5 months?
It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I think it's been about 5 months since our last hike, so we are not in fighting shape. I don't know if we've ever been in fighting shape, but by the end of our 2023 journey, I think we were in pretty good shape because of all the hiking and walking and stuff we did. So we are working on getting back to that. And well, this hike is proving we got a long way to go. We chose to do the hike because to park at Lake Louise itself is $37 and change.
I think so, yep.
And that's Canadian, but still, even with the exchange rate, that's kind of steep for parking. Also, the road, they said, was quite bad with some potholes and things throughout, so we decided to go ahead and park at the visitor center and take the hike up instead. There's also auxiliary parking on another side of town, and from there you can get a shuttle, but that's $8 per person, I think each way. I need to confirm that. So even that would have cost us about $32, and we're just trying to save a little bit of money. We didn't think 3 kilometers would be that bad. We didn't realize it was all uphill and lots of stairs. So if you're coming out this way, definitely take all of these things into consideration. You might prefer to pay for the shuttle, for instance, rather than do the hike up. And I definitely think we're gonna take the shuttle back down into town because I just don't wanna do all this once we spend some time there. How are you feeling?
A little tired, but
Ready to tackle that last kilometer?
I guess so.
All right, here we go. Let's do this.
Look, there's still snow on the trail. We have some flurries, and it's May 29th.
We made it!
Could you believe it's still iced over? It's almost June. And there in the distance, we have upper and lower Victoria glaciers.
And it is really snowing now. Check this out.
Awesome.
It is sticking to his scarf and his coat. Ah, it's almost summer. This is wild. All right, so what do you think? Was it worth the 3 kilometer hike?
Absolutely.
Yeah, these views are epic.
There's a hike you could do here at the lake. It's about 6 miles. You won't be surprised to learn that we're not doing that.
As we mentioned, we wanted to find out about a shuttle going back to the visitor center, and it turns out there is one. The Rome Public Transit, it's the Lake Louise local line, that's quite the alliteration, is $2 per person. It'll take us from here right back to the visitor center. So that's how we're getting back to the van. And up next, we have the Icefields Parkway Drive.
Just like in Banff, these shuttles don't run super frequently, so we've got a little bit of a wait.
Thank you. All right, here we go. 230 kilometers to Jasper. Woo woo. We are on the Icefields Parkway. This is supposed to be one of the most beautiful drives in the world. However, we didn't want to get our hopes up too much because we've been on a couple of others, and to be honest, they weren't living up to their reputations for us. However, so far, we're just maybe 20, 30 kilometers into the Icefields Parkway, and I think we're gonna be properly impressed with this one.
It's a winner.
Oh, we also got a hot tip from some people we met over at Lake Louise who said they saw 2 black bears while they drove the parkway. So I am so hopeful this could finally be the day that I see a bear. No. Look at him! He's right there on the hill! He's looking straight at us! Ah! It's my first bear!
It's a black bear.
Oh my gosh! I finally saw a bear! Ah, Canada, you are doing it! The Icefields Parkway runs through the heart of the Canadian Rockies between Banff and Jasper National Parks. It's 233 kilometers of epic natural beauty with wildlife, rivers, waterfalls, mountain views, and more than 100 glaciers. I don't think you can see it because it's so much brighter than I am, but that is a glacier back there that you could actually take a hike to and walk on. It's only about 3 kilometers away, maybe not even to like the very edge of it. We thought we were gonna do it, but then we got out of the car and realized how cold it is and also how sharp that wind is. I mean, it was just cutting right through to the bone. And so we decided to come right back to the nice warm van instead. And that also brings me to my next point. We're officially in Jasper. We just went through the pass that serves as the official border between Banff and Jasper National Parks. And makes me kind of sad that our time in Banff is over because that was so amazing. We had amazing wildlife, some fantastic hikes, so many incredible views. These parks just seem to be so full of natural beauty, and so I'm really excited for the remainder of this drive on the Icefields Parkway and then to see what we get up to in Jasper. So we were just pulling out of this area. It's called Goats and Glaciers, and we didn't really see any goats or glaciers. But as we were pulling out, we noticed a bunch of cars stopped right over here. And we might actually get a goat sighting. It is fluffy. Look at that.
All right, we made it to Wapiti Campsite here in Jasper after a long, amazing day of driving. I'm enjoying a nice cold beer while Andy's inside making our vegetarian chili that we're gonna enjoy for dinner tonight. And we're just gonna chill, make it an early night because we are up and at 'em early tomorrow and we're gonna go check out Malign Canyon and see what else we might get into here in Jasper. Check out this campsite. And by the way, when we checked in, they told us that there were a couple of grizzly bears spotted here last night in the camp. So on one hand, that's really scary, and on the other hand, we're kind of hoping they come back and we get to see them. Might be a good idea to close those back doors to the van,
though. How is that for a view? Man, it is a cold and gloomy morning here in Jasper. It was one of those days you kind of don't want to get out of bed, except for the fact that you've got some pretty amazing things to go see. So we only hit snooze maybe a few times. we're walking alongside of Medicine Lake here because just up ahead, not too far, is a giant nest up in a tree that we heard is a bald eagle nest, and there are chicks in it. It's like we just drove straight into December. I don't think we're gonna get a summer this year, but it's awesome. What's everybody looking at?
Moose.
Oh! So far this morning, we've been in the area of Jasper called Malign Canyon. It goes by Medicine Lake, that beautiful river that we went by. I think that's the Malign River. And now we're at Malign Lake, which is the really big one here. There's some epic views. We're gonna check those out real quick. But the trail we're gonna take is actually taking us to another much smaller lake called Moose Lake. And they say it gets its name for a reason. So we're hoping that it delivers as advertised.
Ready for the wintry excursion. Moose Lake Trail is a 2.7-kilometer loop, and if you park at the Bald Hills lot at Malign Lake, you're in the perfect place to start your hike.
As we mentioned before, it is the last week in May, so we are approaching summer. And that means in these areas, all the snow is melting, conditions on the trail are muddy and slushy, so definitely bring those waterproof hiking boots, and beware of plops of snow dropping off of the trees, because it might get you right in the head.
We got some gorgeous views, but no moose. If you're a more avid hiker than we are, there's a 31-kilometer hike for you right here near Moose Lake.
We got some kind of a hoof mark here, probably deer. That's not our handiwork, but it's pretty darn cute. Well, despite there being no moose, this is a beautiful walk through the woods. And it's about the same length as yesterday's hike to Lake Louise, but since it's not all uphill like that one was, it's way more enjoyable for people like us. There are 5 main areas to explore here in Jasper National Park, but we only have one full day here, so we're just gonna tick 3 off of the list. The first one was yesterday, actually, the Icefields Parkway. You may recall that about half of that was going into Jasper. The second one is what we did this morning, Malign Canyon, and all the way out to Malign Lake. Now we're gonna explore the third of the main areas, and that is the town of Jasper. Let's go see what it's like.
We're always up for pizza, especially when it's Neapolitan. So when we saw this spot on the map, we knew that's where we were going for lunch.
Are you ready to dig in?
That's fantastic.
So downtown Jasper is really cute, but I think if I were to choose between the 2 parks, if you're making it to both, downtown Banff seems to have a lot more to choose from. A lot more places to shop, more choices of where to eat. So between the 2, if you're gonna spend time in one downtown, go to Banff. The 2 areas we chose to skip on this trip are Mount Edith Cavell, which is along the Icefields Parkway. It's a little detour you can take off, and apparently it's a beautiful drive through a canyon and then a hike up to a meadow with an incredible glacier view. But we were having kind of a long day and we were looking forward to just getting settled in at our camp yesterday, so we chose to skip that one. And then the other one is East Jasper and the Mieta Hot Springs. I'm probably mispronouncing that. We skipped that one because if it's like Banff, they charge additional to enjoy the hot springs, and we're saving our money for Alaska. Well, next time you see us, we are gonna be on the Alcan Highway. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. We just spotted a couple more bears. Oh, this is the year. I am loving it. Where are they? Where are they?